Hello guys, and welcome to Resto Shaman changes in Battle for Azeroth. Overall so far guys, I'm very impressed with Shamans. Elemental enhancement, they've had some really nice changes, which you'll see in my other two videos. I'm a big fan of Resto Shamans, always have been. Playing Shamans since vanilla, so I've seen them go through all their changes all their life, and I think that they're still very strong. The thing about BFA you'll find, and I mentioned this in all my videos, is that there isn't really much that's groundbreaking changes wise. Just fine tuning things. That being said, Elemental had some pretty big changes to be fair, and so did Demo. But in terms of changes to Resto, not really much, just some fine tuning abilities. First things first, so I want to welcome back the Tremor Totem. All three specs have this now. Really good totem. I mean, I'm a PvPer myself. I do raid occasionally, but for me, Tremor Totem was always mint because you just annihilated warlocks with it in arena. That being said, they are bringing a lot of group utility back to individual classes. They took it away from that when they did the bring the player not the class whole mentality under Ghostcrawler. They're trying to pull back towards bring the class, not the player, because of what the class brings. For example, mages are getting arcane intellect back, which 10% intellect buffs the raid. Shamans are obviously getting Tremor Totem. Now, if there's going to be encounters which are fear heavy maybe in PvE, Tremor Totem is going to be essential. But yeah, I love Tremor Totem for arena. I think it's mint. The other thing as well is they've nerfed Capacitor Totem. It no longer does a 5-second stun. It's a 3-second stun now. After 2 seconds, it activates. I just did downpour by accident. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to do Capacitor Totem. There we go. Excellent. Explosion. Right. So we'll go into the talents now. Torrent, Undulation, and Unleash Life have not changed. They're exactly the same as they are live. So 30% increased heal from Riptide, 3rd healing wave when you're healing, and Unleash Life increasing the heal of your next direct heal. On the second tier we got Earth Shield, which is nice. It's no longer a PvP talent now, it's just a standard thing. The other nice thing as well is Earth Shield is available to all Shaman specs, which is really cool, being an elemental Shaman and being able to put an Earth Shield on someone. Deluge is there, which is exactly the same as before. Heals for an additional 20% on targets within your healing rain or affected by Riptide. Crashing Waves increases the effect of tidal waves by 10%, so that's the crit chance and also the cast time, which is nice. On this tier here, typically on Enhancement and Elemental, Earth Shield will go here. But for Resto, it's been replaced with Earth Grab Totem, and Earth Shield's been put earlier down. So Earth Grab Totem is obviously exactly what it does on live. It doesn't replace your Earthbind, it's just an additional slow/root totem. Spirit Wolf, a lot of you will recognise from the PvP talent tree, where when you transform into Ghost Wolf, you get this stacking buff on the right hand side here, which increases movement speed and reduces damage taken, which is quite nice, especially so because it's now 50% move speed in Ghost Wolf, and Ghost Wolf, if you remember, cannot be reduced below 100%, so actually you can, with this talent, you can actually outrun people that have you slowed quite easily, which is always nice as a Resto Shaman if you are playing competitively in PvP. The other talent in this tier is Static Charge. It's the same for every spec of Shaman. I don't think it's that great. Reduces the cooldown of Capacitor turn by 5 seconds plus another 5 for every person it stuns, up to 20 seconds. So you've got here a 20-second reduction on a 1-minute cooldown, 3-second stun. I don't think it's worth it. I think there are stronger talents in that tier. Spirit Wolf and Earth Grab alone are pretty damn good talents. So I wouldn't pick that. I think it's a bit lackluster. I think that they're just filling there. Naughty Blizzard. But some people might like that. Some people might like the reduced cooldown on Capacitor. I personally don't think it's worth it. Next tier we've got Ancestral Vigor, which is similar to what it's doing on live, increasing 10% of your health when you're healing a target. You'll notice that it's affecting chain heal as well though, so it's 10% AoE if you're chain healing. Earthen War Totem is exactly what it's doing on live. Pretty much the best totem I think in that tier. It's 15,000 health though. I think that's a slight nerf to health. Obviously the number's been crunched, but I think it's a slight nerf because it's 15,000. Well, okay, it's actually mirroring my max health. So whatever max health you've got, it's gonna the totem's also gonna have the same health. Ancestral Protection Totem is exactly the same on live. If you die when the totem's up, you can reincarnate and consume the totem. So on that tier, for me, Earthen Wall is always the best one in terms of PvP. Entirely up to you what you PvEs want to do. I think that's pretty good though. Welcome back to an old favourite of mine, Nature's Guardian. Really nice. When your health is brought below 35%, you instantly heal for 20% of your maximum health with a 45-second internal cooldown. The thing about this talent is it's available for LE, Resto and Enhancement. So good talent, but obviously it's on a competitive tier with Graceful Spirit, which is the same as live at the moment, but also it's now increasing your movement speed by 20% while it's active. So when you've got your Spirit Walker's Grace up, you are moving a lot faster. Yeah? I've got people, there we go. People targeted. So on a 1 minute cooldown now as well, which is nice. So not many people, not many classes now can cast and move. So that's nice to be able to have that on a 1 minute cooldown. It's kind of Shaman's niche, which is good. We like niches. Windrush Totem is exactly the same as live, just gives everybody who passes through it within 10 yards increased movement speed. So for me, it's one of those two there. We'll go to Cloudburst Totem, which is quite good. It replaces Healing Stream Totem now. It has a very small cooldown of 30 seconds. So instead of having a Healing Stream, you can cool down the Cloudburst, which is where all your overhealing, or actually not even overhealing now, all of your healing gets collected. So if you've healed or not, it gets collected, and at the end of the totem's life, after 15 seconds, it just explodes, and all the healing that was done, 25% of it just gets actively shared between all the targets. All raid targets. Of course, you can recast it to do the healing earlier if you want to. Echo of Elements is good. Gives Riptide, Healing Stream, and Lava Burst another 2 charges. Also, when you consume a charge of Tidal Waves, you have a chance to get a charge of Riptide, which is quite nice. 10% chance. I've gone with the Riptide build, so it's increased initial heal. I prefer that over the 2 here. However, the last talent here is called Downpour. Now, Downpour replaces Healing Rain, and instead of being a heal over time AoE, it's a burst heal. It has the same animation as your artifact Gift of the Queen. I think that was what it's called, Gift of the Queen. Currently on live in Legion, it's the same spell animation. The only downside about it is it's a 5-second cooldown, right? Which is, okay, but Healing Rain is a 10-second cooldown. Heals 1,000 over 10 seconds. That heals 1,800 instantly. But you notice there the cooldown is increased by 5 seconds for each target effectively healed. You're talking about a 35-second cooldown on that ability if it heals, 6 people. Obviously, it's not going to do it now because none of these people have got any health missing. But you imagine that's quite a long cooldown, really, for an AoE heal, which is healing similar to. It's probably worth about 2 chain heals, just shy of two chain heals. So it's it's a pretty strong burst healing moment, and you follow it with a few chain heals, obviously. But it replaces Healing Rain, and it gets a massive cooldown to boot as well. So a lot of people will probably just stick with Healing Rain and chain healing through it, along with that Deluge talent, which means that chain heal is healing more anyway because they're affected by Healing Rain. That's my opinion anyway. Downpour, I just wanted to take it just to show the animation that it's the same as Gift of the Queen for all those people that like it. For me though, Echo of Elements is the best go-to there because it just means that you've got your Riptide on 2 charges, and I'm buffing Riptide, so for me that's more important. Your last talent here is Chain Heal bounces to an additional target, and the bounce fall off is reduced by half. So same as live. Wellspring, it's the same as live. It's that cast time which shoots a load of water forwards and then heals everybody in a big cone. So again, a bit lackluster because it's on the same tier as Ascendance, which will always be the king of cooldowns for Resto, for any of the specs really in a way. But Resto is mint because it just duplicates everything you're doing and distributes it evenly among allies. So when there's a really big moment of you've got to heal, I've got to heal now, you just pop Ascendance and you just start spam healing, and it's just, if you wanted to, you could match it with Cloudburst Totem, and it's just so much over healing. As soon as the Cloudburst Totem explodes, it's all that healing done again. So Ascendance and Cloudburst Totem work very, 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 very well together. Yeah, they're in a good place. They always will be. Enhancement and Ellie feel really good. Resto feels really good. There's not many major changes, to be fair, to the individual abilities itself. You've still got Spirit Link, you've still got Healing Tide Totem, and you've still got Purge, and Earth Shield is now standard. So if anything, they've gained, because Earth Shield is, was sorely missed unless you were in PvP, in which case you got it as one of the talents. But now it's standard, which is lovely. You've still got Wind Shear as well, which is important, I know, for a lot of shamans out there being able to interrupt. So yeah, they're in a good place. I like it. They've got all the things that made them good in Legion, but they've also got just a few additional things, just a few touches. It's not massive, but it's enough to just bring the spec up to where they wanted it to be in the first place. So like anything really, if you enjoyed Restoration Shaman before in Legion, you'll be enjoying it in BFA. There's plenty of things. The return of Tremor Totem for me is a personal favourite. I love that ability. I think it's a mint totem. Really happy to see that. Also, again, it's only a slight change. Every Restoration Shaman gets Chain Lightning now as well, which I believe they didn't before. I believe it was just Lightning Bolt, Lava Burst, and Flame Shock. Now you get Chain Lightning. I'm pretty sure that's the case because Elemental, its thing was Chain Lightning when you were leveling up. So now Resto get it as well. So overall, Blizzard Shamans are in a really good place. We're really happy with them. We'll see how the numbers tune and everything else as the expansion goes on. But for now, I'm pleased with them. I hope you guys are too. I hope the video was informative. If there's anything you want me to work on, please let me know and I will try to do so, as I'm quite new to this. But if you did like the video, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll be doing more videos in the future on the additional classes and their specs. So thanks for watching.